Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aaron Lipp.
Well, I ain't got no use. Ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we feeling good out there? All right. You usually have to ask a couple times, but you know what? Let's just do it one more time for fun. Are you guys feeling good out there? Yeah! There we go. I like to hear that. Howdy, folks, and welcome to the season finale and the 50th episode of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight, Rochester's premier music and interview show. I'm not one to stand on ceremony, so I will do my best to keep this brief. 50 episodes is an incredible achievement. The response and love from the community was, is, and I hope will continue to be as well, incredible. I'm happy to have played a role in this show's success, but I couldn't have continued to, or will continue, to do it alone. This season, with all of its wonderful twists and turns, was the best yet, and I hope it's a sign of things to come. This show would not be possible without people donating their time to make this happen. First, Stacy, Piper, and Dallas for providing some camera help and production along the way. Next to David Clapp, who's not here right now, but he was my audio intern this season, who in addition to providing drum mics was also an absolute joy to work with. Next to Matthew Guarneri, who has helped me set up this PA more times than I can count, and even more than that, he's told me how to set it up, and he still has to tell me every single time. Finally, to Jason Tebow. Now, I work for Jason too, and I couldn't be more grateful that he donates his time to this corny little show. His camera skills are incredible, and he comes in with a great attitude every day, and even more so, he's helped me think about this like a professional. So let's give all those people a round of applause. Next, I want to mention our sponsors and partners because, as we all know, nothing in life is free. First off, I want to thank Josh Pettinger at Wicked Squid Studios. His skill in transforming the audio that I give him into album-quality sound can't be understated. He almost single-handedly allowed the Spotlight to take the next step. I also want to thank Row Photo. They've been very generous keeping this show going, and they've been the spark plug for getting more sponsors in. They're second to none in customer service, and if any of you need a camera, I'd recommend them. Next is John, Julie, and Ryan at Bernunzio Uptown Music. Can we get a shout out for them? I know there are a lot of musicians in the crowd, and I know that a lot of instruments have come from there. It's been a lot of fun getting to know them since the show has started, and their support and flexibility, especially when we were filming episodes there, has been really appreciated. Next is SoundSource. Chuck and Sam have also been great to work with. They've helped out with gear a lot along the way, and most importantly, they have helped me to get it to all talk to each other, so that's been very important. Next is Jazz90.1 to both Rob and Derek. I've been DJing there for about 3 years, and I finally wore Rob down. And now we have monthly rebroadcasts of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight for our blues, soul, fusion, and jazz shows, and that's been very cool for me to have my stuff reach a new audience. And finally, to Heads Brewing, we have an appearance. Let's give it up for Geoff Dale, who's here tonight. Working with Geoff and the Rochester residents, so by the way, that's a different artist every month doing a different concert each Thursday, has been more fun than I could have hoped for, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity and the beer. That hasn't been too bad either. And finally, to Bop Shop Records. Let's give Bop Shop Records and all those people a round of applause. Yeah. I really can't overstate enough how much this place makes this show happen. Everything from keeping the space available and making it a home away from home as well. I also want to give a special thank you to Tom and Jan for being my friends. That's really meant a lot to me. And Jan for giving me all of these lovely 50 decorations. That was more than I could have asked for. The love and cooperation has truly meant the world to me, and I also want to give a shout out to everyone else here. I apologize if I miss people, but to name a few: Carl, Vanessa, Eve, Ethan, Brian, Dan, Kim, and Liz, who keep this place going. So let's give all of the sponsors and partners a round of applause. And a very special thank you to my family. Every day, I thank you and think about the love, support, and guidance. Thank you for everything. I'm forever grateful. And to wrap this up, I want to thank my guests. Frankly, you are the show, because no one wants to see me talk for this long, yet you've all bared with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your relentless hard work for keeping this city fun and culturally alive. I won't name everyone here because, after all, there are 50, but we'll see a scroll at the end, I promise. Thank you to my Season 1 guests for taking a chance on me. Thank you to my Season 2 guests for being along for the ride. Thank you to my Season 3 guests for, I still think, was the most surprising season. I still can't believe that one worked. Thank you to Season 4 for making it the most diverse. And, of course, thank you to my Season 5 guests who've made it the best yet. Let's give a round of applause for the family and the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight guests. And, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the 50th guest of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight, one of the most talented and cool cats around, killer singer, multi-instrumentalist, and a folk master in his own right, Mr. Aaron Lipp. Let's give him a round of applause. And before we get going, let's hear from our sponsors. Come on up, buddy. As we navigate the cable here.
Sometimes don't know where the steady road is taking me. Sometimes I don't even know the reason why. I guess I keep a gambling, lots of booze and lots of rambling. It's easier than just waiting around to die.
That wasn't so bad. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
Sound check was just an absolute blast, and we're so glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here in the lumens of the spotlight.
I know there are some serious lumens. They don't call it the spotlight for nothing.
No, they don't.
Look, I didn't have them when I started
I spotted it real quick.
I know. Look, he's beaten me in my own game already. So there's so much we want to unpack. You're such a great member of this scene. You're the epicenter of folk in the Naples region. But let's just start right from the beginning. You started piano at a very young age, right?
I did. I was 4 years old.
Wow.
Took some lessons from a woman in town, and I just loved it. I played ragtime and classical.
Yeah.
And
what made you pick up some of the other instruments you play now? What was the first instrument you picked up besides piano?
Drums, actually. Yeah. But guitar, I started playing at age 11.
Yeah.
I really started loving playing guitar. I played a lot of 90s rock and real heavy stuff, and then I got into Jimi Hendrix, and that's kind of what brought me into the whole roots scene with the 60s counterculture music and Grateful Dead and
I want to explore.
country.
Yeah, I want to explore that a little bit. It is a bit of a jump going from piano and going into all that stuff. So would you say those are your? I mean, it drove you to play guitar, but would you say those are your musical influences, or those are the people who still creatively inspire you?
Some of them, yeah, but I have more localized influences here with, in the Finger Lakes region. I'd say guys like Bobby Henry and Richie Stearns are probably my two biggest influences around here as far as many different styles of music, but most people here know who those guys are. So
Right. And I'm sure they'll have a spotlight of their own in their own right.
Oh, they definitely should if you can, if you can get them out here.
If we can swing it, we'll make it work. And part of the journey into the root scene was joining Giant Panda, Guerrilla Dub Squad, all the way back then. And kind of a funny shout out for me is in high school, Giant Panda was like the cool thing. Everyone would always go to Water Street and see all the great ska and reggae shows there. So can you tell us about joining Giant Panda and a little bit of what it was like playing with those guys?
Well, I joined when I was 16, and it all kind of happened through my friend Matt Goodwin, because I'm from Naples, and he also is, and he knew those fellas real well, and he asked me to join his band, and we played some shows together, and then it just happened. It just happened, We ended up playing together all the time. I was part-time for a while, and then full-time for a while. And
what was it like playing with those guys? I mean, they're such an integral part of the Rochester scene. It must have been fun.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, we traveled all over. We had tons of fun and played great music. A lot of different people were in the band throughout the history of it, and all of them were great. And
totally
learned a lot being
I'm sure
the young guy. I was 16. Everyone else was at least like 24 or 25, I think.
Yeah.
So it was It was quite the experience.
I'm sure. And a little bit of a spotlight tie-in here. Of course, James Searle, one of the founding members of Giant Panda, is doing a Rochester residency in the summer. So please keep an eye out for that.
3 heads.
3 heads. 3 heads. 3 heads. One of the, I mean, you mentioned you sort of had this interesting transition into the roots music and the folk music kind of through Giant Panda. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, so I grew up with my parents and grandfather playing folk music and listening to Doc Watson and stuff, so I'd been around it at an early age, and I never really took to it then. I always liked it, but I never became obsessed with it until my late teens, and it was just on the road all the time. I had this slide guitar, and I started listening to a lot of country music and old blues, and I just really ended up loving it. And then my father actually introduced me to Appalachian old-time fiddle music, a guy called Tommy Jarrell, and that's when I really started learning the banjo, and then I saw the Henry Brothers perform down at some musty old barn in the country, and I saw Bobby flat picking the guitar, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, and that's a great lead into the next thing I want to talk with you about. Is it's not just that you do one thing well, it's that you do so many things so well, from fiddle, bass, singing, songwriting, banjo, guitar, all of this. And I just want to get inside your mind or your process a little bit. When you first pick up a new instrument, and I know string instruments obviously have a lot of strings in common or approaches, but when you're picking up a new instrument, how do you approach doing that?
Well, I just practice like all day.
And that's pretty much
all
it?
night.
Who would have thought that practice would have done it?
But practicing in the right ways is important. You know, I've had a lot of inspiration from, you know, those guys I mentioned, and a lot of other, like, records. You know, I have a bunch of vinyl at home I listen to, and just practicing the right things makes a lot of difference, and all the subtleties, and paying homage to the traditional styles rather than just kind of, I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot to be said for new music and new styles of doing everything, but I think it's important to have a basis of the old stuff.
Yeah, and that's a great transition. And the next thing I wanted to discuss with you is because, of course, you play all these things so well, but you're also a singer and songwriter too. But you also do a lot of traditionals, whether it's sitting in doing fiddle or banjo with the Mount Pleasant String Band. And can you take us through some of your original material? What inspires you to write the original material, and how do you go about doing it?
Well, you've heard some of it.
I have.
What's your guess?
I knew he was going to do this, and I'm prepared. I would suspect that you probably start with the instrument first. You might figure out a chord progression or some finger picking pattern, and then do you go back and work on the melody and lyrics?
That's generally true, actually. Good guess.
All right, good guess. I'll take it.
Sometimes there's a sort of a spark of a lyrical line that I'll build off, but a lot of it comes from just inspiration of being. A friend of mine recently described it as creative loafing. It takes a lot of time to get into that space if you're not in it all the time. So if you're really busy and you're running around, it's hard to do that. Sometimes it takes just sitting all day,
right,
and doing various things, just relaxing and get into that headspace, and then certain melody will just come.
Yeah. So, you need the mental space. It's important.
Yeah, taking a day off is very important.
It is. And for this set you're playing for us tonight, it is both traditionals and some originals. It
is both, yeah.
We're looking forward to hearing it.
I'm not going to tell you which ones are which.
Well, we have to play a guessing game. That'll be fun.
You'll have to guess.
We should have had a quiz show on the 50th episode. That would have been fun. I wish I had thought of that. Someone's going to interview me for the 100th when we get there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But joining you tonight is a very special guest. Can we give a round of applause for Mr. Brian Williams, who's sitting in on bass? I could talk all day about how important Brian is for our bass scene here with the Rochester Bass Retreat, the workshops he does, what a great player he is, but I figured you might be a better person to do that. So can you tell us a little bit about Brian Williams, the cat sitting in with you tonight?
Sure. Well, I've known Brian for a while. He's always been, he saw me at a Goners show just eating it up, and gave me a couple CDs early on, and I've always just loved the way he's played bass. I mean, he's the real deal, nobody He's got the groove, he's got the chops, he's got the good attitude, and there's not a lot of people around who have all those things.
He's the perfect storm.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm very honored to be able to play with him.
And we're happy he's here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to give Aaron a round of applause. He got through most of the questions. Yeah, he got through most of them. There is one more section. This is called the lightning round. If you've seen the show before, you know what's coming. It's 3 big picture questions, but even though it's called the lightning round, take your time.
Have you ever been struck by lightning?
I'm trying to find some sort of joke where I come out as both funny and self-deprecating, but I can't think of one. So no, I've never been struck by lightning.
Proverbial lightning?
I think I've been struck by proverbial lightning. When I was starting the show, I'm like, oh, hey, I need some video on the resume. And I went to my friend Stacy, and she's like, hey, I can film and edit it. Great, I can't do either of those things. So if you count that as lightning, there you go. All right, you're not going to get off the hook. If you could accomplish one thing in music and be happy, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Just be picking on the porch with a bunch of good friends, you know?
Man, can't get any better. And a 3 Heads beer. That too. Not exactly from Rochester, but I think this can be sort of a general Western New York question or a Rochester question too.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to you. What makes Rochester such a great place for original and traditional music? Why not?
Well, I think Rochester has a lot of upcoming people who are really creative in lots of different genres. And, you know, there's a lot of great original bands, too many to list. And there's a lot of great multi-instrumentalists who play multiple different styles, and it's just a good community. You know, we're lucky to have a lot of that. And, you know, of course, Eastman School, there's a lot of, you know, jazz and classical happening. There's a lot of just guys who grew up playing in their parents' basement who are, you know, real good players because all they've done is just play their whole life. And
yeah. So that's a pretty good answer. We got one more for you. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
I do. Just have fun. I think that's the most important thing because if you're not, as soon as you stop having fun, things fall apart.
That's right. Aaron, thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. I'm Dan Gross, and thank you so much for watching the 50th episode of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight. And ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for the 50th guest on the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight, Mr. Aaron Lipp.
All right, man. Appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aaron Lipp.
Well, I ain't got no use, ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. Well, it's all that I can do, all that I can do, and it's all that I can say. I'm gonna give it to your mama next payday. Give it to your mama next payday. Well, I ain't got no use, ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. Well, who'll rock the cradle? Who'll rock the cradle and who'll sing that song? Who's gonna rock that cradle when I'm gone? Who's gonna rock that cradle when you're gone? Oh, I'll rock the cradle, I'll rock the cradle and I'll sing that song. I'm gonna rock that cradle when you're gone. I'm gonna rock that cradle when you're gone. Well, I made it in the shade. I made it in the shade, gave her every dime I made. What else can a poor boy do? What else can a poor boy do? Well, I ain't got no use. I ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar honey baby now. I got no sugar honey baby now. Thank you. That's an old traditional song that goes out by request tonight. A good friend and former bandmate. So I'm going to do kind of a heavy song here that relates to. I've had a lot of friends and friends of friends that are sort of victims of this whole opioid epidemic these days, and this is an old song that was written way before this, but it has it's a song written by Mr. Townes Van Zandt that I kind of put together in my own way. It's called "Waiting Around to Die." Sometimes don't know where the steady road is taking me. Sometimes I don't even know the reason why. I guess I keep a gambling, lots of booze and lots of rambling. It's easier than just waiting around to die. One time friends, I had a ma, even had a pa. He beat her with a belt once cause she cried. She said to him, take care of me, headed down to Tennessee. It's easier than just waiting around today. Came of age and found a girl in a Tuscaloosa bar. She cleaned me out and hit it on the slag. But I tried to kill the pain, bought some wine and hopped the train. It's easier than just waiting around today. Said he knew where some easy money was. We robbed a man, a brother, did we fly? Well, the posse caught with me and drug me back to Muskogee. 2 long years waiting around to die. Now I'm out of prison and I got a friend at last. He don't drink or steal or cheat or lie. His name's Codeine, he's the nicest thing I've seen. Together we're gonna wait around to die. Yeah, together we're gonna wait around to die. Thank you. How's everybody feeling out there on the other side of these lumens? missing you. But I got a friend who's a darling too. Then the sad old song comes around. When you sing, it lays me down. Through the night cries a lonesome song. And even though it might seem sad and lone, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. In the dead of night you can see there's a light and it's clean and free. Then the darkness says a blue goodbye, shows a way to the truest kind. Through the night cries a lonesome song, and even though it might seem sad and lone, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. At the edge of time there's a song sitting right where she belongs, wearing lily white pearls on her breast, mourning for the one she loves best. Through the night cries a lonesome song, and even though it might seem sad and lone, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. Thank you. Well, if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to do a few songs on the banjo for you. Let me know if I'm too loud then.
No such thing.
That's what I thought, but... I went out last night to make a little round. I met a little SADIE and I blowed it down. Went back home, got in my bed, 44 pistol under my head. I woke up next morning about 9:30. The hacks and the buckets all standing in line. The gents and the gamblers standing all around, taking little Sadie to a burial ground. Then I began to think of what a deed I'd done. I grabbed my hat and away I'd run. I better good to run, but a little too slow. They overtook me in Jericho. I was standing on the corner reading the bill when up came the sheriff of Thomasville. He said, "Young man, is your name Brown? Remember the night you shot Sadie down?" Well, I said, "Yes, sir, and my name is Lee, and I murdered little Sadie in the first degree, second degree. You got any papers? Won't you read them to me?" Well, they took me downtown and dressed me in black. They put me on the train and started me back. I had no money for to go my own bill. Threw me into the Thomasville jail. Well, the judge and the jury, they took this stand. The judge set the papers in his right hand. 41 days, 41 nights, 41 years with a ball in the stride. I went out last night to make a little round. I met a little city and I shot it down. I went back home, got in my bed. 44 pistol under my head. 44 pistol under my head. Thank you. So that was an old song called Little Sadie. Some of you know that one. I'm gonna play a song I wrote a few years ago for this band called the Cabin Killers. And we haven't played in a few years, but we're actually doing a reunion this summer in August 23rd down in Naples, of all places. Journey was a working man to get a need in this situation. Weird and all he knows, he's still in emptiness, bound to an occupation. As the morning ends and the night begins, we can make amends as the whole world wins, as the whole world wins. Kiss the night away, forget about the days full of sorrow. And as the words forget us later, we drank up all the whiskey in the hollow. As the morning ends and the night begins, we can make amends as the whole world wins, as the whole world wins. Thank you. You guys are behind the bar.
Dry bar.
Oh, really? I don't know. Out of it, that means you drank it all. Right. I feel the shadows now upon me, and the angels beckon to me. Before I go, dear sisters and brothers, won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. My burden burden is heavy, my way has grown weary. I have traveled a road that is long, and it would warm this old heart, my dear brother, if you would come and sing me one song. Sing those hymns we sang together in the plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. In my home beyond the dark river, your sweet face is no more I will see. Until we meet where there's no more sad parting, won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in the plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. We stood shaking hands and singing our songs. Thank you. I've been living in a cold war between the best of me and the other half was a demon I had seen in a dream. I had someone to help me up to my feet. Dressed in black was a little bird with a wing spread so sweet. But the burden never rested on your shoulders, trying to buy the time to have your fun. Happiness is a place you can visit for a while, but your time to pay the rent will always come. tears, and I'm standing in the rain. The garbage man slept in because he wasn't getting paid. And when your plane goes crashing down in a desert far away, the spirits all around us are gonna take you to your grave. But the burden never rested on your shoulders, trying to buy the time to have your fun. Happiness is a place you can visit for a spell, but your time to pay the rent will always come. Your time to pay the rent, time to pay the rent, time to pay the rent will always come. Thank you. I'd like to invite one of my favorite people to play with in the world, Mr. Brian Williams, to the stage. We're gonna send you off with a couple rockin' numbers. Thank you, Brian. Thank you guys so much for listening today to this smorgasbord of styles. Here a month or more, stuck in this old city. The people that have to call it home, yeah, they're the ones I pity. Lord, I'm homesick. Blues are the only songs I ever seem to pick. I've been walking down the street till I get blisters on my feet. I'm southbound. Well, southbound, I'm burning the ground, and I don't mean to maybe. I sure do hope I catch a train, 'cause I long to see my baby. Lord, I'm homesick, and I long to see them hills that I come from. Listen to the engine rattling roll, she's taking me back home once more. I'm southbound. Till late at night, just sitting by my window, counting sheep, but I couldn't sleep because I longed to hear that train blow. I begin to pine when I hear that big old engine rolling down the line. I'm going back to spend some time where I can have fun, and if I ain't got a dime, I'm southbound. Well, southbound, I'm a burning the ground, and I don't mean maybe. I sure do hope I catch a train, 'cause I long to see my baby. Lord, I'm homesick, and I long to see them hills that I come from. Listen to the engine rattling roll, she's taking me back home. Once more, I'm southbound. Listen to the engine rattling roll, she's taking me back home. Listen to the engine rattling roll, she's taking me back home. Listen to the engine rattling roll, she's taking me back home. Once more, I'm southbound. Brian Williams, ladies and gentlemen. As you may have noticed, sometimes it takes a lot to make me smile, and this guy does it right here. So, well, we're gonna send you off with one more, if we got time. We're gonna send you down the tracks with the Freight Train Boogie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Casey Jones was a mighty man, but now he's arrested in the promised land. And the only kind of boogie he could understand was a big eight wheel under his command. He did the freight train boogie all the time. He did the freight train boogie as he rode down the line. Well, when the driver rode into town, everybody on the line could tell that Casey Jones was coming to town on a big eight-wheeler that was burning down. We did the freight train boogie all the time. He did the freight train boogie as he rode down the line. Casey Jones was a mighty man, but now he's resting in the promised land. And the only kind of boogie he could understand was a big head wheel under his command. He did the freight train boogie all the time. He did the freight train boogie as he rode down the line. He did the freight train boogie all the time. He did the freight train boogie as he rode down the line. Brian Williams on the bass, the upright bass. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Dan. All right, we can do one more.
Yeah.
I got the blues, Nashville blues. I got the blues, the Nashville blues. Ain't got no hat, ain't got no shoes. These people here, they treat me fine. These people here, they treat me fine. They give me beer and they give me wine. I'm going home to Arkansas. I'm going home to Arkansas. Gonna sit right there with my pa and ma. If I am sad, please go away. If I am sad, please go away. Come back again some other day. Hard to tell what a gal may do. It's hard to tell what a gal may do. Showing your love and leave you blue. I got the blues, them Nashville blues. I got the blues, the Nashville blues. Ain't got no hat, ain't got no shoes. The Nashville blues, I got the blues, the Nashville blues. Ain't got no hat, ain't got no shoes. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Dan, for putting this thing together. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brian. We'll see you next time. Well, I ain't got no use. Ain't got no use for a little red rocking chair. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. it's all that I can do. All that I can do, and it's all that I can say. I'm gonna give it to your mama next payday. Give it to your mama next payday. Well, I ain't got no use. Ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar honey baby now. I got no sugar honey baby now.